Well, guys, if this is really the end, and as anyone who has been a fan of a non-Patriots AFC East team, the Atlanta Falcons, or as of last weekend, the Los Angeles Rams, can tell you, assuming it's ever over with Tom Brady is probably always something you do at your own risk. But if this really is the end for Tom Brady, we can say with a period what we've been saying with a comma for a while. He's the best at what he chose to do, which is play quarterback in the most popular league in North American sports, one of the most difficult positions in North American sports. And at every stop along that way, he was the best, or talked about as the best at what he did. He was an underdog story that people could sell to their kids, that coaches could sell to their players. The 199th overall pick in the draft, who didn't come into this league as a heralded prospect, ended up winning 7 Super Bowls and appearing in 50% of the Super Bowls that were played since the time that he was drafted. The Patriots were the premier dynasty of my lifetime. They were the premier dynasty of the era. They were equal parts infuriating and awe-inspiring, depending on who you rooted for. Tom Brady was the poster child for the Patriot Way, a term that's become synonymous with pro football and excellence at the top, a way of doing things in a standard that was difficult for others to live up to. And even in the midst of that, with everything that went on, all the highs and the championships, there was Deflategate, there was Spygate. Tom Brady was equal parts hero or villain, depending on where you lived, who you rooted for, and what you believed in. But even in all of that, he was the best and era-defining in that way. Tom Brady gave us something really unique even in sports talk. He went 20 years as a part of one of the greatest tandems in sports history with him and Bill Belichick, one of the most productive in terms of winning. And we constantly asked who was more important, who was more valuable to the dynasty. And he did his best to give us an answer, leaving to head down to Tampa Bay and winning a championship in his first season there, doing it a different way than we had seen his entire career, doing it more openly. There appeared to be more joy. Hell, he even looked like the best at celebrating championships after that 7th one, drunkenly throwing the Lombardi from boat to boat, stumbling off in the arms of some of his friends and teammates in a way that we had never seen before from Tom Brady. He was consistently excellent despite the way the game changed throughout his time in the NFL, and that change came in part because of teams he was on, the 2007 Patriots team that redefined offense in the NFL. He was navigating life off the field as it changed, from someone who was a part of that Patriot Way for so many years, who did not give us much publicly, to someone as the social media age went on and the age of taking care of your body went on, coined the TB12 Method, had a social media team that gave us more content every week that people could latch on to than most other athletes were doing at the time, and did it better than most, as in everything else. And even on the way out, a year after winning a Super Bowl, he throws for more yards than we've almost ever seen him, and probably would have been the NFL if it weren't for another Hall of Famer, a future Hall of Famer in Aaron Rodgers. Even in leaving, he goes out on a high note that may not be the Super Bowl, but still look to have so much gas left in the tank, it leaves us all wondering how that competitor could hang him up. So in all of that, that consistent excellence over time, to be consistently great at anything for that long, to be consistent at anything for that long is near impossible. But to be consistently at the top despite the way everything around you changed, teammates, the other assistant coaches on that staff, the team you were a part of at the end, it's something we will likely never see again in my lifetime, in our sports lifetime here. It was that special. It was, again, whether you loved or hated it, something that defined this era in a way that few other things could. However you want to wrap that, however your vantage point was for it, I myself consider myself lucky to have gotten to see something like that unique in my time watching sports. So congratulations to Tom Brady on retirement, and I think we all have no doubt that we are going to still continue to hear and see many things come from him and his camp here in the future.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.